Hello, so is the game good or bad? It's bad. It's actually very bad because it uses some mechanics that will annoy people a lot. Now, this is one of those chop games that you play, let's say 20 hours and you think, well, it's decent, it's good, and then you suddenly realize, whoa, what am I playing? Why is this so bad? What's the problem over here? The game basically copies Outriders and its systems, but it does that in a very bad way. It's not enough. At this point, I just want to have Outriders too. Now, if we look at this, we have some ruins, and we have a lot of stone structures that, resemble ancient civilizations, right? You think, well, that's not so bad. Well, we also have the ruins of a city. We also have an echo swamp. Again, a swamp. A desert. A very plain desert, of course, as you can imagine. And I think one of these locations had a lumberyard as well. Let me see if I can find it. Misty Woods. Muskeg Swamp. This is all very familiar to me, I don't know. I probably played a lot of games and I remember some of them. The lumberyard. So yeah, you finish the main story and then you can go back to the map and do some other activities. But what's the problem with that? Well, the problem is that you have world difficulty. As you can see, you only have world difficulty 1 and 2, and you unlock 2 after you complete everything on normal. From what I understand, you also have the void intercept battles, which are the best aspect of the game. We'll do one later. From what I understand, you cannot have matchmaking on hard difficulty, which is stupid because you cannot play the game without matchmaking. Otherwise, you will need, I don't know, maybe 100 hours to simply finish the first part of the story if people are not around to help you, especially because there are dungeons and are these void battles, which are basically a huge boss battle, which is very fun, but you cannot do it alone. And if you don't have matchmaking for hard difficulty, that means you cannot unlock anything. And the way you unlock stuff is basically playing on hard difficulty, which is the stupid thing. In the beginning of the game, we'll get 2 characters, Lepik and Bunny, which are decent. But you also have ultimate versions of those characters, which are basically pay to win and pay to have fun at some point. So let's say you want to unlock Jaber. Why? Right? 600. Let's go and see how much that is in real money. So it's 600 to simply buy the character. But look at this, 520. And wow, so you'd have to pay 15 euros for a character that should be 10 euros, right? Right. That's how they did it. That's super annoying, and it's clearly designed that way to make you pay more money for something you don't really want or need. And then you may think, well, why don't you just unlock the character normally? Sure, let's go over here to research and let's see how we can unlock the character.
That's why humans need us so desperately.
They overcomplicate the system, so it doesn't even make sense how you unlock it. So you have the JBR code, which you can obtain from doing hard mission, or the fortress on normal, well, if you are lucky. And then you have the stabilizers and some other stuff. As you can see, you craft the things. So how do you get those things? Normal, hard. Normal, hard. Normal, okay? I mean, it's easy. You can also click it and just go over there to have a chance to get those materials, but look at how bad it is. You not only need to get the material itself, you need to get a lot of the materials, and then you need to craft something. So you basically need 4 types of materials for a single item, and then you also need 4 items, and some of them will only be obtainable through some very hard stuff. The stabilizers. And you also need the money, but the money is not a problem. So the big issue is that you might need, let's say, it's not one of those games where you need to play 100 hours to unlock most of the stuff. You need to play thousands of hours unless you pay for it to real money. And you might think, well, what is the ultimate versions of those characters? Well, the ultimate is just a much better version of the character itself. So even if you unlock the character through a miracle, and even if you play on hard difficulty without the matchmaking and without people helping you, you still have some weird stuff going on with the ultimate versions, which you'll never be able to access. Believe me, if it's this hard to get the normal version, ultimate version, forget about it. Also, you can do a lot of stuff in the game, but look at this. You have to wait in real time for items to complete. This is just crafting, it's not research as they call it. Some of these items will be required to upgrade your equipment, and you have to wait in real time. So every time you go back to the base, you have to spend the resources, but you also have to wait, which is crazy and mind-boggling. And if you get a weapon, let's say you can upgrade it to your current level using some of these materials, but as you can see, wait in real time, and you have a cap on how many things you can research. So you will never be able to upgrade more than one character at a single time, and even if you are researching other characters, you will have less slots to do the normal stuff, which will be needed a lot more later. And as you can see, some of this will become very expensive. There are also ultimate weapons, which are basically unique, sort of speaking. But when you craft them, they'll start at level 0. And you have a bloated weapon. You cannot play this game for more than 15 seconds in combat without getting a weapon or something else. And these ones will have abilities of their own. And you can also improve their abilities, and you will... Anyway, let's not get into that, because their abilities can make certain characters much stronger. But the problem is that certain weapons will be designed for certain characters for certain combos. And the characters themselves will have the reactor, which is stupid, because this basically means the reactor will have more power if it's assigned on the appropriate character. What does that mean? Well, if you craft a weapon, if you have a special character unlocked, if you have the proper reactor for him, that means you'll have no problems in finishing the game alone. You can even play on hard difficulty alone. Which is why the shop is so annoying, because basically you'll be paying a lot of money to finish the game without any issues, and you also will... I mean, I don't think the game will have PvP, depends on how the developers think about it, but it doesn't seem like it will ever have it. You have the battle pass and you have the other stuff as well, but you also have premium skins. You don't just have the skins themselves. The skins themselves, from what I can understand, they offer some bonuses. And yeah, you want to play as this character, or you want to play as a character that has a suit on or something like that. The skins are going to make the character look a lot better. And how is the battle pass? Premium. And I think that's not so bad, but wait. You can buy level ups? Yeah, you can also buy level ups. Okay, that's kind of funny. You also have the challenges over here, and as you can see, they're super hard to do because you need to do a lot of stuff. Some of the challenges will require certain characters unlocked. And I think, well, that's not so bad, but what you get for the battle pass itself? A few items. You don't get the cool stuff, of course. You don't get the XP boosters and some of the other stuff. Also, you can buy that as well. But hey, you can get the drums. If that is fun for you. This will be over here. It's a weapon skin for a shotgun. And so on. But as you can see, that's the problem. I've been playing for about 20 hours and I barely managed to scratch the surface of the stupid battle pass because it's based on challenges. And it's not really going to work. Okay, so we have gone through all of the major design aspects of the game, and yeah, the game is super trashy, and especially because it makes you play until you get to hard mode where you can actually unlock some proper things, but then you realize there's no proper way to do it. Because there's no matchmaking and hard difficulty, so I'm not sure how I'll do that, but we'll see. And you can also upgrade your reactor and some other stuff, but that's not important. So let's just do a normal battle. Let's go to the desert over here. Yeah, and let's replay that mission. The fun fact about this game is that it's actually pretty easy to navigate and go to a mission, finish the mission, realize what you need to do and so on. But the enemies have two very stupid abilities. The developers abuse two mechanics. One, teleporting enemies all over the place, spinning behind you, in front of you, above you, below you. And two, enemies being unable to get damaged, invulnerable enemies. So what does that mean? That means bosses will have phases, so boss, you need to complete 3 phases of it, usually. But it's invulnerable for a lot of time, so if a battle will last, let's say, 2 minutes, it will actually be 5, 6, 10 minutes, based on your ability to just wait out the invulnerability phase. So yeah, it's so obnoxious and it's so obvious, that's just designed to extend the fights. Like I said, you cannot fight 15 seconds without getting guns and other items. And the problem with this system is that most of the times you want to do a boss battle, but you realize you'll be spending so much time killing the boss, and if you don't have other people with you, you'll not be able to do it because they're invulnerable. And everything seems so floaty and rubbery, as you can see. It's not really a Gears of War where you feel like you're shooting a big gun at a big enemy, no. It feels like you're just, I don't know, fighting rubber enemies that float. So when I attempted to do this alone, oh look at that, it's immune to damage. Destroyed the balls. And this is for all of the bosses and all of the elite enemies that are kind of like the end of a mission. They abuse this mechanic so much, and also you have enemies that can not allow you to use their abilities.
Well done. Wait a minute. Marcus, let's go now.
Imagine if I was playing this alone. This would have been a nightmare, and this is how I'll be playing the game if you don't have matchmaking for hard mode. You can do the missions on the map themselves, but you can't do the dungeons without matchmaking, and also the intercepts is a major mechanic of the game. And okay, let's go back to Albion. That's going to be a huge issue. You get a lot of stuff, but most of it is trash, and you have to disassemble it. And well, I guess I explained the game too well until this point, but you kind of see the major issues with it. So now let's do one of the things that I like about the game the most, which is the intercept battles. It's actually so nicely made. But if you want to do this on hard difficulty and you don't have any matchmaking, that means you'll not be able to play the game or finish the game alone. You might think, well, I can do it alone. Forget about it. Forget about it. This is a game that is 100% meant to be played in co-op, and if you don't have any matchmaking on hard difficulty, that's a deal breaker. The fact that you need to spend so much time just to finish the game and not be able to even start unlocking the other characters, it's a game breaker. The way the shop is designed, as you saw, with a character costing 15 euros and having ultimate versions of the character, and also having bundles that you'll need to buy, because a character at level 10 is not very strong, because they have mastery points over here. And if you don't have all of the mastery points, you'll not even be able to loot stuff, because you need to go back to the base every 5 minutes or so. The volume is lowered. Okay, let's just enjoy the battle. You can destroy certain parts of it. Yeah, let's just enjoy the battle, because this is the best part of the game. And if you cannot do the best parts of the game solo or with randoms on hard difficulty, yeah. Such a cool feature. I hope they managed to, you know, fix the cash shop, fix the unlocking of characters. Hey, I'm shooting at the shoulders. Once it turns yellow, you can destroy it. Well, I guess it seems a little bit boring when I'm doing it like this. Also, you have ammo types, and the ammo types basically mean you can use more weapons. It's kind of like Outriders, so if you have 3 weapons that use 3 different ammo types, it's going to be a little better for... Oh yeah, I shot it in the sensor over there. And that's all of the ammo I had. And also, you can just snipe the enemy's armor points if you like, but it's not really that efficient. It's better to shoot it with your automatic weapons. So machine guns, as you can see, will be the strongest weapons either way, no matter how you look at it. You also have enemies like this that are just here to drop health items, ammo, and some other stuff. So make sure you destroy them so you have a way to resupply when you need it. So that blue bar is mana, and it regenerates super slowly on its own, so you need to find mana. Oh. I almost fell down. Also, even these guys go immune to damage during the crazy phase. This particular boss will just kill itself using this thing. It will actually heal up almost back to full health and its armor as well if you don't destroy it fast enough, if you don't destroy these things fast enough. And every boss battle has its own things. What's it doing? Oh, I think it's on its... Okay, it was just a little tired. Now it's back in action. They destroy the chest stuff, and as you can see, you can climb it to destroy the other parts. Some of the bosses will have, the Colossi will have more parts to destroy. Some of them will have less. Some of them you can directly destroy like this, some of them you have to go and pull them off. But ultimately, just is a fun mechanic. They don't really explain much about what the parts themselves do and if you destroy them what they do, but they just make the boss fight easier. I'm aiming for the stabilizers. Yeah, why would you pick a pistol or something else? Oh, they destroyed one of those as well. I don't think you really have a lot of choices over here. The sustained damage of the machine guns is so much better than the burst damage of pistols because you only need the damage itself when you have to have sustained DPS. I mean, against normal enemies, yeah, use whatever, but against certain dungeons or bosses or colossi, yeah, you're going to need sustained DPS like this. It's my chance to shine. And this forces you to stay kind of in melee range of the boss. Let's collect some supplies. Tell you, this also is a campaign blocker, so if you cannot kill the Colossi, you cannot progress to the next part of the game. Which can be super annoying because if you don't get a good group, I was trying for 2 hours to kill the previous Colossus. And this one, I think we'll get it right now. Yeah, you have to stun it with damage, otherwise it will go into the repair mode, which nobody really wants. That's okay. Now we're in real trouble. You cannot shoot this at range because the shield only allows you to shoot them while you are inside the bubble. As you can see, artillery is also dropping on you. Wow. We did so good, and then at the final part we kind of messed up. A very deceptive boss fight, as you can see. I hope they can destroy the other stuff while I'm doing this. Huh? Okay, found ammo, normal ammo. I think we destroyed all of its parts. The sensors, I'm not sure if you can destroy or not. I think they're just meant to be a weak point. I never... Well, I guess I didn't have a boss fight that is this hard until now. This my character is a bit tankier and I'm mostly using damage. I'm using critical hits as DPS. So I might see people with other builds. I'm a tanky, critical hitter. Yeah, you really need sustained DPS against the Colossi. Not work if you have to reload every 2 seconds. Targeting me. Also use the on the ground like that for a quick escape. Yeah, I think 40 is the max level. I don't know why or how, but I think I could have gotten one more shot. That ability is dependent on mana. It's okay, we defeated it. Whew. And then you get a lot of cool stuff. I'm going to get stuff that it's a little higher than what I should be getting. And sadly you can only do this for 2 fights. 2 fights will get a rare material, but after that you don't get any more rare materials, which I think is a big problem because people would have loved to just farm this all day, but nope. You can only get 2 rare materials. Get a Valby or a Viesa. Sure, doesn't matter. This is also randomized as well, so you only get 2 rare parts, so I suspect on hard difficulty you'll be able to farm them forever. So I don't know, they could have done the game in such a way that so much more fun, but nope. No. I guess the rifle still does the most amount of damage, the sniper rifle. You do have a lot of weapons, but they're mostly going to be the same. As you can see, they have different stats. And you can kind of manipulate that, but it doesn't really matter since... Oh, look at that! The Tamer does a lot more DPS. Okay, now let me show you the last part of the game, which is the mods. And this is also another part that plays into the pay-to-win mechanic. I waited until the last moment to show you this. You can increase the level of this stuff, but this is mostly going to be tied to the weapon's bullet type. Well, as you can see, that's 2 bullets over there, that's 1 bullet. So each bullet type or caliber has their own mods. And these mods can also be upgraded, but there are some really rare ones that you can probably just buy outright or just farm them. But I'm pretty sure in the shop bundle you'll find the best ones just waiting there for you to buy them. I think it's a big deal breaker because if you will be able to simply buy this stuff, and you can also, it has a capacity, but you can just level up the best ones, or you can just use a lot of the lower tier ones. I guess it's up to you. Oh, that's a rare one. Like the gun barrel. Higher rate up. Okay. Anyway, you get the idea. Let me see. Recoil. Guess I can also use that, and that's good enough for me. You can do so many stuff, and that's the cool part about the game, but this is mostly pay to win. I don't have any other ways of describing it. For example, I have very good stuff on this one, because they're all rare, and I think this is a problem, because the developers made it so you get better stuff for certain things. So the other ones are normal, just because you have plenty of ammo types for them. And look at this one, they're all rare. Imagine if I could put this stuff on my other gun. Look at this toxic attack. So it's a good system, I don't hate it. Also regarding the reactor, this is the best way to get the reactors, but as you can see, if they're not designed for your class, you'll not really be able to use them. So there are so many moving parts to the game to the point where you just cannot unlock the character that you need or want to play or want to change your style. So I don't know, you should just be stuck in an endless loop of farming things you don't want, things you don't need, and never really reaching the stuff you need or want. So they'll require you to equip on a certain character and also a certain gun. That will make them much stronger. But yeah, Thunder Cage is one of the unique weapons, Toxic Infusion. I don't even know who has those skills. My character, I think he has skill power and tech power. Oh. I guess if I equip a handgun, this might work. I like my current loadout too much to change it. And also you have a lot of stats. One of the things I like about the game is that they show you all of the stats. Kind of hidden, but they do show you all of the stats, and you have stats everywhere if you wanted to see them. But you change your equipment so often in the early game, it doesn't really matter. Let me look at this. Item acquisition distance modifier. Nah, I like the other one. The previous ones actually gave me firearm critical hit rate. Predator will give you HP recovery, which is interesting because basically you'll be a lot tanky, but I don't want to give up my critical hit. Also, a lot of this stuff will give you more resources or more experience, so I think I'll just keep them as they are, even though they're a little weaker. At the same time, some of this stuff can give you, let's say, 1360 defense. You know how much that is? That is basically 25% of my total defense. So the pay-to-win aspects of the game are just huge. I mean, just look at the shop. Let's look at the shop a little bit again. I will never recommend a game that has this much predatory stuff in it. 5,000. 5,000. Look at this. You cannot buy 5,000 directly. So you go from 70 euros to 100 euros just because you cannot buy a certain amount directly. So you need to pay 100 euros to fully unlock a character, and that's the biggest problem I have. It's impossible to unlock them through normal playthrough almost. And anyway, I went through all of this as much as I could, but you'll be playing this game for years and you'll still not unlock everything that you can unlock in the game itself. But Coca-Cola bear is adorable. Bye bye.